When should you buy a heavy and when a light shield? Buying the heavy shield just because you can might not be the best option for you and your team economy. It is a common rumor that you should always go for the heavy shield if you can. What do you think is the most used weapon in Valorant? In the recent VCT, the Vandal wins the overall pick rate in comparison to the Phantom. But how is it in Valorant's competitive? You cannot compare such a big tournament to your normal ranked games, so I figured out that the Vandal gets used around about 2.2 times more than the Phantom in all ranked games. If you take a closer look, you can see that players from the ranks Immortal to Radiant use the Vandal even more, with around about 2.8 times as much as the Phantom. Iron to Ascendant players less, with about 2.12 times. Since the Vandal is that much in use, it doesn't make much sense to buy a full shield for 600 credits more, even though you most likely get one-shot headshotted anyways. Furthermore, a body shot with a Vandal does 40 damage at any range, and the Phantom does 39 on close and 35 on long range. Therefore, the amount of body shots you can take before dying does not change much. If you take 3 shots with a Vandal, you take 120 damage and the 4th does 160. With the Phantom, 3 shots on close range do 117 and the 4th does 156. The only difference comes to the Phantom on long range, where you do 140 damage with 4 shots or a headshot. This is the only scenario where buying a full shield can be effective. But why would anyone buy a Phantom if they know they will often peek from a long range? The aim punch the Phantom does with headshotting someone almost makes it impossible to win the gunfight anyways, and often you get hit by 2 headshots if the first one connected. After thinking about these stats and noticing how much less the heavy shield changes the output in pure gunfights, do you still want to buy every time you can a full shield? The obvious answer is no, so I will tell you in which scenarios you should buy which shield. If both of the teams have enough money to buy rifles and you're not over 5000 credits, I would not buy a heavy shield, especially in higher ranks of the game. Of course you buy a heavy shield when you max out your money or have as much that you know you will be able to buy everything you need in the next round. Against ecos you should always buy a heavy shield, since the plus 25 health can be crucial to the slow fire rate of the pistols, as well as the fact that you will survive a long range sheriff headshot. If you are on an eco, buying a light shield can make you take minimum 1 more body shot with all of the pistols, rifles, SMGs and the Marshal, so buying it does make sense if you are still able to buy everything the next round. In the case that the enemy most likely will force with SMGs, buying a heavy shield does make sense as well. Extra fact, rebuying your heavy shield does make the most sense if it is under 20. So in conclusion, buying a heavy shield brings rarely benefits in gun rounds, especially with the Vandal meta we have right now. If the enemy forces with SMGs, buying a heavy shield is optional. If the enemy is on an eco, buy a heavy shield. When your heavy shield is under 20 armor, always rebuy it.